All right, guys, so we are back with another message for you guys, and this is titled Extraordinary. That's right, extraordinary, which means you're outside of the ordinary, which means you're beyond the ordinary, however you want to spin it, however you want to put it. But this particular message came by way of a dream that I was also given, and two of the numbers that were given were 222 and 530, and then the third number that was given was 3, which we'll get into at the end of the video. And so the downloads that came with this particular message were, you're going to have options. You're going to have options to choose with the next heavenly deposit or the gift of favor that's going to be specific to your needs, that you have sacrificed for in previous seasons, one that you've been praying for, the answers and the solutions to problematic areas that you've been seeking his guidance and resolution for. All of these things are going to come to you, but you're going to have options this time to choose, with this next heavenly deposit or this gift of favor. So the solution or the gift of favor and this problematic area is going to come with choices. You're going to have a selection, and it will be tasteful to your palate. I was given this word palate, and of course sometimes I'm led to look words up. And so, of course, the palate has to do with taste and sensation and things like that within the, within your sensories of your tasting. And the actual word indicates sensory experience in your mouth when you eat something, aesthetic, intellectual preference when eating. That's right. It is pleasing to you. It is not just something that you will just obtain. It is not something that you will receive, but it's going to be something that you are going to like. Feast upon. When you feast upon something, it's something that's desirable. It's not something that's just kind of given to you and, in a sense of a leftover or something like that, but it is actually something that is an experience which is aesthetic to you, and it's a preference. It's pleasing to your palate. So think of someone who prefers sweet over sour, or vice versa. It's selective to their palate, to their aesthetic experience and their preference while they're eating. And so this particular gift of favor or this heavenly deposit is definitely going to come as a way to be pleasing to you, to your preference, as you feast upon it. And so the next point was, patience is going to be required for you. And so it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It will require this of you. You're going to have to be patient. It's not just going to happen, overnight or whatever the case may be, but it's going to require your patience. And so 530, this is where 530 came in. So the dream basically came about where it had we were in a restaurant, and it was me and my twin daughters, and we're sitting here, and we ordered our food when we came in. It was similar to a Panda Express, but not quite the same. Dreams sometimes have like variations and alterations within the reality of the setting. And so it's similar to Panda Express. I'll just leave it at that. But we were at the table after we ordered, and I was with a unfamiliar but familiar family member, and they were telling me that one of my loved ones had a kid, and the latest baby was diagnosed with Down syndrome. It was a beautiful kid, so I don't know if for some of you, you have some unexpected health complications of a newcomer in your family, but it was a beautiful spirit. It was a beautiful soul. And so nonetheless, it had, 3 hours passed by. So that's why you see the 3-hour wait. The 3-hour wait had taken place, and I go up to the counter and I, inquire about my order, and I'm given my meal, but then I ask for, I requested that, hey, am I able to have some type of compensation for this? Because, we've waited 3 hours. So while I only ordered myself something because my girls had eaten already, I asked, hey, 3 hours have passed. Is it possible for me to get a second plate? And they were going to share it. And so I asked for the specifics of the crispy orange chicken with the noodles, but I asked for a second bowl, but I went to this buffet style, setup. And so when I go to it, I'm able to get the crispy orange chicken, but I realized that they don't have noodles on the buffet, and that's something that I like to pair with the crispy orange chicken. And so I ended up asking for the bowl, going up there, and it wasn't there, so I take it back to the counter, and the lady goes, she gets another bowl, and she brings back a bowl, but it has nothing like what I asked for. And so this is a counterfeit. And so she brought me back a counterfeit. The counterfeit was presented, and it was like omelets, circular omelets with sausage. And I'm like, this is not even, this type of food. It's not even Oriental food. And so I asked her, I said, well, no, I ordered the crispy orange chicken with the noodles underneath on the bottom. And so she goes and she gets that. And then, she allows me to keep the other counterfeit as well. And so what, the interpretation was, you're going to have more than you ordered. So more than what you order is going to be what's given to you. More than what your heart desires, more than what you envision, more than what you've prayed for, more than. And so you're going to have more than you've ordered, and it will not be without being vigilant and attentive to what you are, being served. So what you're being served. And so with this particular area, when you're being served and what's being delivered, you're going to have to check your order. You're going to have to let your request be made known, because it requires your attentive. You have to be attentive to it. Your attentiveness has to be there. You have to be in tune with it. You have to know what you're ordering and not be afraid. Don't be afraid to seek our favorable and sovereign Father in heaven in his throne room, guys, because you have to let your request be made known. Now, this doesn't mean that you'll get every desire that your heart, so truly has earnestly brought before his throne room, but it does mean that you can't be afraid to go and seek him for the things that you desire, because he desires to spend time with you. A lot of the reason that he calls you to the throne room is because he wants to have these intimate moments with you. He wants to have the connectivity to experience you bringing forth the desires and the needs that you have in whatever season you're in. And so the breakthrough is on the way, guys. It's on the horizon. Help is on the way, and you're going to have your feast. You will have your feast, and it will be good. Your palate will be pleased. It's going to be that aesthetic, intellectual preference while you feast upon it. So it's going to be good. You have yet to experience that which is to come. It's not going to be like anything of the previous seasons that you may have feasted on, that you enjoyed, so to speak, in previous seasons. So get ready, because it's coming. And some of you will have a period of waiting. Like I stated, there was a 3-hour wait in this particular dream, and it's going to require you to, you have to pay. I paid. I remember that the $5.30 was the amount that I paid. So when I ordered the meal, my receipt said $5.30. I recall that. So it's going to come at a price. You are going to have to work. You are going to have to compensate. But at the same time, once you get what you've paid for, it's going to be beyond what you have actually requested. And so what you get is going to be beyond that which you ordered. You need to, pay attention to your options, your selections, what you're choosing to present to the throne room, what you're allowing to be the desires of your heart, and examine the bar. And in this sense, that means examine your alignment, scripturally speaking. Examine your heart posture. Examine the way in which you ask. And so I knew that, the options were not all that was being displayed, because I knew their menu. I knew what their options were. I knew what they had available. And the chicken in the bowl, that's why the chicken was in the bowl, not the noodles, because I selected the chicken off of the menu. But I was like, hey, I don't usually pair this with anything that's present, so let me go back and request this. And I did, and I requested it, and it was, I requested something that was not present at the time, but I knew that their menu and what they offered was not what I was seeing displayed. And so I requested it, and my request was granted. And I had, more than I sought in the end, because I got to keep the counterfeit, and I got to keep the secondary bowl, which was outside of the order that I paid the $5.30 for. And so, you guys got to get into position. You have to get into position through prayer, through, learning. You have to ask for the wisdom that you need to be able to go to the place that he's desiring to take you, for you to have your magnificent feast. And then you also are going to have to, learn, present your request, and don't settle for the counterfeit, because I could have easily walked away with the egg, omelets, and sausage, which were not at all similar to what I was requesting at the time. And so like I stated, there were several different numbers that I was given during this scenario. And as I was getting ready to, prepare for this message, 222 came about, and the Strong's Concordance of that is Uriel, and it's the flame of God. Two Israelites, God is my light. That's what this refers to. And then 530 in Hebrew is considered faithfulness, fidelity, steadfastness, trust, and faith. And the Greek definition is once, one time. So this is an event that's going to occur one time, something that is not going to be repetitive, but it is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So make sure you are in position, make sure you are in gear. And so the 3 hours, this period could be for anybody. It could be 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 nights, 3 years, three seasons. And we know our seasons are not that of the way of, our Father in heaven. And so 3 in the Hebrews means freshness, fresh, greenery, young shoots, growth, a green plant. And the word is ebb primarily, and it refers to the freshness and new growth, which I was given Revelations 8:7. So please take the time to go and read that scripture. And it just means young shoots, vegetation. It conveys the idea of new life, vitality, and the initial stages of growth. The term metaphorically is used to describe the vigor or the potential of the of the youth, renewal of life. So starting life anew, that's what renewal of life means, starting life anew, a do-over. And so the Israelites they were connected to the land and the cycles of planting and harvesting. Agriculture was a central part, and it was integral to their daily life. So growing and harvesting things was of great importance back then, as is it in your life, metaphorically speaking, and just literally speaking. And so young shoots of hope, and this was a symbolism of young hope, of hope, renewals of God's provision for them. So many of you are, you're in your breakthrough phase where, God is providing for you, where you can't give up, you can't quit, because you're going to get more than you have bargained for, more than you have sacrificed for, more than you've received in previous seasons. And the integral piece is understanding God's faithfulness. This is what the integral piece was for the Israelites. So all of this resonates well for someone, I'm sure. And so this message, like I said, came to me by way of a dream. And just know that extraordinary is coming. So let this resonate well for you guys. Take it to our Father in prayer. And as always, I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video to its entirety. For those of you that are new here, please visit the link in my bio and take the time to comment on this video, in particular if you know that there are subject matters that you would actually like to hear or wisdom shared that I may be beneficial in sharing with you, and I would be more than happy to. Also, if you're led to sow into this ministry work that I do here, or to just sow a seed, then you can do so as well by utilizing the link in my bio. As always, I pray nothing but the best of success in all you do, and that you grow in grace. And I look forward to our next video, guys. Take care.